Hi, welcome to your senior year. This is Mary Hall, college counselor at Roncalli High School, and I'm going to walk you through the first part of your senior conference. Our agenda for today will be this general presentation that all the seniors will have, and then you will move into your individual appointment with your counselor. So you should have in front of you right now a handout for the PowerPoint, and then following this, you'll meet with your counselor, you'll talk about your transcript, your plans and goals for the future, and when you leave, you'll have an individualized action plan for your senior year. Additionally, there'll be some forms that you will need to sign, and your counselor will be giving you those forms. So post-secondary planning refers to whatever your plans are beyond Roncalli. It could be military, it could be workforce, an apprenticeship program, or post-secondary education, including a college or university or a community college. Regardless of your plans for the future, your transcript and an application will be required for all of the above options. Most of today's meeting will be in regards to post-secondary admissions. For that admissions process, you will need an application and an application fee for most places. You'll need a transcript, which your counselor will address. You'll need standardized test results, ACT, SAT, or for some universities, subject tests. You'll need a resume of your activities, and you should have done this at the end of your junior year and put it into College and Career Connections. You'll also need, sometimes for some places, a letter of recommendation, and sometimes you will also need an essay. So what type of applications are there? There can be paper applications, and for colleges and universities, these are becoming very rare. Most colleges and universities would prefer the electronic or online applications. There's also a common application and a universal application. Electronic applications, as I said, are preferred by the colleges. They can be accessed directly off the college website or through College and Career Connections. Sometimes they're free, like the University of Dayton or Xavier if you apply online, and sometimes they are fee-based. IU, Purdue, regardless of how you apply, you must pay a fee. And that fee is done through a credit card. Always proof your information on your application and then save a copy. If you're using the same essay for several colleges, be sure to change the name of the college in each essay. IU just doesn't like to receive an essay that says Purdue University is a student's favorite college. So be sure you change the name of the college every time you're writing an essay for a different college. Be sure you follow up then with a request for your transcript on DocuFide, and we'll talk about DocuFide in just a moment. And then if you need a letter of recommendation, your counselor would be more than happy to do that, but you need to let the counselor know. Always give your counselor at least 2 weeks, so if your deadline is coming up soon, don't wait until the night before to contact your counselor. Be sure you give your counselor 2 weeks to complete their portion of the application. The common application, and the website is right there for you, allows a student to complete one application that can be forwarded to many colleges. This does save a lot of time. Usually it's for more selective universities. The fees do still apply, and typically these are much more involved applications, but you only have to fill it out one time. There are supplements for the common application, and sometimes it's more than one essay. Usually there's a letter of recommendation, at least one, a mid-year report, an end-of-year report, and sometimes there are also portfolios. And then again, you would follow this up with a transcript sent through DocuFide.com. The universal application is also very similar to the common application. It's much more involved. Selective schools will be using this. There are only about 77 colleges right now that are using the universal application compared to almost 400 using the common application. The fees do still apply, but the neat part about the universal application is that you can add a video, pictures, or other media to the application. And then again, you want to be sure that you send your transcript via DocuFide.com. So the application process is a 4-step process. You submit the application and the fee, you request the transcript by using DocuFide.com, you talk with your counselor about the letter of recommendation, and then you update your application status in College and Career Connections. 4 steps, 4 easy steps. So let's talk a little bit then about the transcript for your application. This is your academic record, and it contains your GPA, your grades for 4 years, all the courses that you've taken, your attendance record, and your standardized test results. Colleges review these much differently. Some will review only by your core grades. Core grades would be your grades in your English, math, science, social studies, and world language courses, while other colleges will look at all of your grades in all of your classes. Some will recalculate your GPA based only on core courses, and then others will compare each student to the academic profile of their particular class at their particular school. Regardless of what the college is looking for in your transcript, D grades limit your options considerably, so keep those grades up senior year. So now let's talk about the transcript itself and requesting the transcript via Docufide.com. This is an electronic transfer of your transcript. It's free to any college in the United States or internationally. It sends notification to our registrar, Mrs. Sheets, and then Mrs. Sheets will send that transcript. It also sends notification to your counselor for a secondary school report and usually a letter of recommendation, but not always. So be sure you check with your counselor whenever you need a letter of recommendation. Check with your counselor and give your counselor 2 weeks to meet any deadlines. When you're using Docufide.com, be sure you record your ID and your password in a safe place. Standardized tests and a resume are also typically required. These are both important pieces of the application. Every senior should have already tested the ACT and or the SAT, and then a very few colleges will require subject tests. These are tests in specific curricular areas. There are about 26 such tests. You can take 1 to 3 tests on one test date. Each test is an hour long. Additionally, a resume was assigned at the end of your junior year. You should be updating that through your activities from the summer, and you can update that on College and Career Connections. If you have some questions about that resume or actually the use of College and Career Connections, be sure you check with your counselor. Now, not all colleges will require an essay, but it is an opportunity to inform the college of your uniqueness as a student. Sometimes there's only one topic, other times there are many options that you can pick from. And then some universities have more than one essay that they want you to write about. Write about something that's a passion for you. Show your uniqueness. Don't repeat what's already in the application. Don't go through and relist all of your activities. The content and sequencing is extremely important. Your grammar is important, so be sure that you proofread and spend time on the essay. Have at least 2 people proof your essay. Do not use slang or first person unless it's specified in the topic. And when reading the essay, your counselor, as well as the college counselor and your English teacher, would be more than happy to proof your essay for you. Make sure your email is accurate and appropriate. When you're writing this essay, it's not necessary to do a drama and trauma. Oh my gosh, this is what happened to me, but this is how I've accomplished what I've accomplished. Write about a common experience, maybe a great book that's really meant something to you, maybe changed the course of your life, a relationship that means a lot to you. Why does it mean a lot? How has it changed you as a person? A great class that was taken, an experience of importance, maybe summer field studies or service or volunteer experience. But it should be reflective and it should talk about you. The letter of recommendation then is required by some colleges but not all colleges. So students should request these as they are needed. Remember, 2-week deadline in order to give the person who is writing plenty of time to reflect and write about you as an individual as well as you as a student. It's also important to give your recommender an updated copy of your resume along with some information about why you are requiring the letter of recommendation. Is it a college application? Is it a scholarship? And then how should your recommender forward the letter of recommendation? Does it need to be electronic? Does it need to go snail mail? Or does it need to go directly to your counselor who will then send it with everything else? It's also wise to send a thank you note to your recommender. So there's a lot of different types of admissions. Most colleges have a priority deadline for admissions and for scholarships. Sometimes these are the same, sometimes they are different. Rolling admissions allows you to get an admissions decision within 3 to 5 weeks after submitting the application. And usually this is 3 to 5 weeks after September 15th because most colleges do not begin reviewing applications until September 15th. There's a regular action admission, and this is a specific date for the applications and then a specific notification date. So November 1 might be the date that is the due date for the application, and then they'll let you know by December 20th, as an example. There's early action 1 and 2 for more selective schools, and then there's also an early decision admissions process, which is a binding process. On this early decision, you can only submit one application early decision because it means if you are admitted to that particular school, you will automatically withdraw all your other applications. So only one early decision. And think about whether or not you really want to do an early decision. Talk with your counselor about it. What are the pros? What are the cons? So that's the admissions process. But there's also the financial aid process, and this is an important piece. There are grants, loans, work study, and then merit-based aid. So we're going to talk about each one individually. Grants is gift money that does not have to be repaid. Usually this is awarded through the college, but not all colleges will offer grants. Grants can be based on academics, it can be based on skills like the speech team, or it can be based on financial need. Each college does those just a little bit differently. Then you have loans. Loans have to be repaid with interest. They can be subsidized by the federal government or unsubsidized. They can be federal. They can be from a state. They can be from banks or credit unions or other lending institutions. All of these institutions, however, do require that the family complete the free application for federal student aid in order to fill out the loan application. Some will also require the CSS profile, which is an additional financial aid report. The work study piece, the student will be employed on campus, and again this is based on the family's need as indicated by the FAFSA. This is campus part-time employment. There's an hourly wage which goes directly to the student, and it's not less than the minimum wage. The FAFSA, which I mentioned earlier, the free application for federal student aid, is a form that is used by colleges to determine the need of each individual family. About 99% of the colleges will use this form. It is a free form, so do not pay to have anybody submit this form for you. It can be or must be electronically submitted, and deadline dates vary by college. The earliest you can submit it is January 1st of your senior year, and then it has to be in by no later than March 10th of your senior year in order to qualify for any state money. The earlier you file in January, the better chance of money, and these are need-based monies. It is recommended that all athletes file for the FAFSA. The website for the FAFSA is www.fafsa.ed.gov. So students and parents must have a PIN number in order to submit the FAFSA. And you can request that PIN number at the pin.ed.gov website. You can request it at any time, so you could request it right now, but it does need to be requested at least by the day you are completing the FAFSA. It is needed to submit the form, and then again it's needed to review the results. So you'll keep the PIN numbers for both the parent and the student for the time that you are in college. In order to complete the FAFSA, you'll need a W-2, and there's also sometimes some other financial information that is needed to submit the form. You are notified 4 to 6 weeks later with a student aid report called the SAR, and it gives you your qualifications, and you also need to check closely for accuracy. So here are some hints on the FAFSA. The earlier you file, the more options you have financially. No earlier than January 1, though, of your senior year. The counseling staff encourages all families to file the FAFSA, and again, the website is located right there for you. We also will be hosting several information meetings on the FAFSA. The first one is the Financial Planning for College one, which will be in November, and your handout should have the date in November. We will also then in December have a FAFSA review where a person from the IUPUI Financial Aid Office will come in and talk about the FAFSA, the ins and outs of the form, the federal programs, the state programs. This is a really helpful meeting, and our expert will also give you her email address so that if you do have questions you can contact her. Also, colleges now are required to have a financial aid estimator on their website, but additionally you can find financial aid estimators on finaid.org or collegeboard.com. These are also helpful forms where you can put in the amount that you had down for your W-2s last year, and you can estimate how much you might qualify for in federal aid for next year. A secondary financial aid form is the CSS profile. More selective colleges require this application. It's a two-part questionnaire requiring much more in-depth information. The first part should be online September 15th at profileonline@collegeboard.org, and then there's a fee that's attached for the second part, and it's based on the number of institutions that you want the form sent to. The last form of financial aid then is merit-based aid. These are scholarship opportunities, and there are a lot of different types of scholarships. They can be academic, they can be athletic, fine arts, essay, service, a lot of different types. The listings are typically posted on the college websites, and then we also have listings posted on the College and Career Connections. Scholarships are also listed in the senior newsletter that comes with the Guidance Blast on Thursdays. It's sent to both students and parents every Thursday, beginning with the first Thursday that we will be back in school. So if you are not receiving this newsletter, be sure that you contact either your counselor or Mary Hall so that we can get you on the mailing list. Students then are also notified of scholarships as they come in through the public address system, the student announcements on a daily basis called the Scholarship of the Day. There are other scholarships available on the internet as well, and I've listed a few there. The FastWeb, finaid.com or finaid.org. collegeboard.com has a scholarship search as well. There are many, many, many scholarship searches on the internet. Do not pay for these services and do not provide personal information such as Social Security number and credit card numbers. Well, where else can we look in addition to the college website? Check with employers, parent and student employers, sometimes through their human relations or human resources will have scholarship opportunities. Union members will have scholarship opportunities. Other organizations that families belong to, American Legion, 4-H, American Horse Council, Knights of Columbus. There are minority scholarships, there are college major scholarships, essay contests, fine arts competitions, and then ROTC or academy, military academies also have scholarships. For the scholarships, it's typically important that you have an ACT or SAT result. Many of the scholarships are based on the SAT or ACT results. There are benchmarks that are posted, and we will be posting those, and actually I believe that you're going to be getting a handout from your counselor today on the benchmarks for college scholarships. But there's also additional scholarship listings and benchmarks on the College and Career Connections site on the document library portion. Be sure, though, that you always start with the college website because that's where you're going to find most of the scholarships that you're looking for. Also, read the local area newspapers for any leads that your family might follow up for additional scholarships. There are local community foundation scholarships, so depending upon where you live, these would be websites where you might be able to find additional scholarships. Go to the website of your county and then check on their scholarship site. Especially watch, if you live in Franklin Township, there are a number of scholarships that usually come in February, so watch for that as well. Here are some additional resources. The College and Career Connections is our one-stop shop. It's linked to the Roncalli homepage. It's an excellent site, and it's linked to where you check your grades. It has information on colleges, testing, careers, and so much more. You can track your college applications and your scholarships on this site as well, and we want you to do this. We want you to track your applications. We want you to track your scholarships. Update those applications, update the awards, any acceptances, any scholarships on College and Career Connection. This is the only way the scholarships will be recognized at the spring honors reception or in the graduation program. There is a deadline of April 15th for students to have all of these things listed on College and Career Connections. And again, if you need some help with this, please, please, please come into the guidance office and ask for some help. Additionally, Scholarship and Opportunities for Seniors, which is an electronic newsletter sent out with the blast on Thursday, and then the weekly guidance blast on Thursday, forwarded via email. And again, if you are not receiving these on Thursday, the first Thursday of the school year, be sure that you contact your counselor so that we can add you to the email listing. Your counselor is your advocate. They need to know what you are thinking, what you are planning. Talk with your counselor regularly. They're the ones who are typically going to write your letter of recommendation. So it's important that they know what you're thinking, what you're planning. They will also assist you with the college application as needed and requested, and they can refer you to the college counselor if you would like some additional college planning services. The college counselor will meet up with the student following a referral from the counselor, and the college counselor will assist students looking beyond Indiana for a college that's a good match. The college counselor is also the point person for scholarships at Roncalli. We would like for you to go through your regular counselor in order to schedule that first appointment with the college counselor. So here are some hints for your senior year. Stay organized, don't procrastinate. Update and use the College and Career Connections website with your resume, updating it frequently, scholarships, applications, and decisions. Read the senior newsletter and blast weekly and then act on it. Talk with your counselor frequently. Visit with college reps who are going to be at Roncalli and visit the campuses. Retake the ACT and or the SAT as necessary. Consider subject tests if it's appropriate for the school that you're going to apply to. Set goals for yourself and work towards achieving those goals. Listen to the announcements during the day and then act on those announcements. Apply for scholarships and don't wait until March to apply for those scholarships. There will be scholarships in September that come into Roncalli and that have early deadlines. So begin applying for those scholarships early in the year. Also on your handout of the PowerPoint, you have the dates for the evening presentations. Be sure that you read over those. We have some great presentations that are going to be occurring that will be very helpful to families. Thank you for coming today. On behalf of all of the counseling staff, have a great senior year.